So, are we ready? Welcome, everybody. Good
Well,
evening.
good evening.
I was very excited about this for this talk, to be honest. I mean, of course, a topic that is very emotional for us, for all of us, of course. I mean, we all know what music can do to us emotionally, and I think it's very interesting to dig a little bit deeper in that with you guys. I mean, you're very interesting people with different interesting backgrounds, of course. And maybe I can just start with a small introduction of everybody. However, I think you're all familiar, or the Shiny People community is familiar to all of you. But still, I'll just start with a small anecdote, maybe. I don't know if you know Guy, but a lot of people think that Shiny People got its name from the track Shiny by you, Gai Barone.
Wow, so kind from you.
It's
Thanks.
actually not the case, because Shiny People got its name actually from the vision I had to the people can find and really live their passion, their potential, and also connect with each other. And but the track is indeed very important to Shiny People.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the connection is very strong, because back then, when I kind of had these ideas to make a change, or to kind of make a contribution to this world of music, which is somehow sometimes a bit negatively affected by all those, financial issues, but also people
No?
working against each other. And Shiny has always been a very emotional track for me. And it really helped me kind of tune into my own emotional world and visualize these ideas. So what I did was I really listened to that track every morning before I left my house for work.
Really? Wow.
And I listened to it with my headphones, and I danced in my
Cool.
apartment for just for 3 minutes, and I
Wow.
kind of visualized this vision I had, people dancing in peace, and me, kind of making a contribution. And this is also how I mean, I've always known how connective music can be, but this was for me the example of what can happen if music really tunes in. So that's, there is a connection. It's not what people believe. But, yeah. And also I'm of course very
Thank you.
excited about you and your background. Maybe we can talk about that a little later as well.
Yeah, sure.
Is there anything else you want to add right now, or?
Well, the other thing I can do is about Shiny. I don't want to disappoint you, unfortunately. But Shiny, it was a kind of strange track. I think I made Shiny in one day. I just, I can't remember. I think I sampled something on YouTube. Was playing the drum. I can hear somebody playing the drum. Lovely. Yeah. Oh, there is a kind of strange feedback. Okay, now I can hear. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I simply sampled something on YouTube, and I play kind of really elementary vibe into it, and it was good. It was a kind of B-side track, but it was really good. I think Solarstone released it back in the days, 4 or 5 months ago. I can't remember that. And it was a shiny track. Many people are asking me, how do you feel about that track? Unfortunately, I don't listen to it very often. Yeah, because I think it's part of my it's part of my past. But I'm always happy about that track because it makes smile so many people. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing for me. Exactly. What else can I say about Shining? It was kind of a lucky one. Yeah.
Don't want to.
No.
It's just a nice connection to have between between
And
you and
yeah,
us.
at the same time, I got to say that I'm so happy and lucky to have a track that identifies a kind of small community, but a very special one at the same time. I mean, it's always an honor to give a name to something, which is really important to me as well. I mean, you know me very well right now, since we are part of something which is kind of evolving, moving, which is growing and growing, and I'm so happy about that, and I'm so happy at the same time to be part of this, musically speaking as well, and as a DJ as well. So thank you for that.
Thank you for being here. Right. So yeah, so we head over to our Dutch guys. We have two of them. So Harry, maybe we start with you, Lemon8. Our connection actually came through Shiny People when you played this amazing live stream for us. Thank you for that again. And also we had some exchanges about this topic as well, also on how you see the audience and you and the connection between the two. And when we had this topic for this talk today, it was clear to me that you will make a great contribution to that as well. I think you're based in Rotterdam, right? Right now.
Yes, I hope you can see that behind me now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is Rotterdam.
Nice.
Yeah, we started communicating. Lots of communication started when this whole thing happened, right from the start. Like me, as soon as I heard we were going into a lockdown, I immediately started thinking like, hey, wait a minute, I'm a DJ, I can't be in lockdown. So that's how I started streaming. And lots of others too, obviously, and others didn't or are just about to stream. But yeah, I've always been looking for thinking about solutions instead of problems, so you just have to move on with what you have. And it was hard because I didn't have any. I only had like one turntable and a mixer, and I never play at home. I never did that in all the years that I've been a DJ. So, but yeah, we were in touch pretty quickly, and that's nice. And yeah, I like Shiny People. We have the shine, It reminds me of the Shining.
Shining.
Yeah, we all have the shine, and it's not just about playing music or DJing. Of course, that's what I like, but it's also clear that it really helps people, and just not me, but it helps everyone, and it shows how strong our community is worldwide. And that's just wonderful. It really is. It's lots of work to set up a stream, especially with a green screen. It takes 2 days of my week just to set it up and do it, and then the day after I have to I have to take some rest too. So, but yeah, I'm just happy I can do it, and I'm happy with all the connections that we make. And now I'm here with you, fine people, and for the first time talking to Guy, which is weird, really, because we're both kind of veterans. So, but it's nice for when we really get together.
Yeah, definitely it is.
Yeah.
Cool,
Nice to
thank
meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, Gaby. Yeah,
Yes.
I think we met somehow through Shiny People, but actually through our mutual friend Bruno Effect, who's also in our talk, I think.
Yes.
And it's been such a great pleasure to have you on board as well. So with your whole passion and excitement, and to me, you're someone, your deep positivity in all this trouble
Always.
somehow. So yeah, thank you for being here as well, part of Around Us. So yeah, is there anything you would like to add for the first place?
Yeah, maybe a short introduction. as 50% of Around Us together with Jan. Yeah, we started 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago with the project Around Us, and yeah, I knew Jan already from a long time ago when we played together at clubs in Amsterdam like Studio 80 or other clubs, Panama, and yeah, we became good friends. And he always was a duo as Analog Effect in the early days, and resident of the Matzo, Panama. And I was playing since 1989, 1990 as a DJ in several clubs, and yeah, our path crosses many times. And yeah, we decided to I was more the DJ, not the producer. He is always the producer and the DJ, and so I learned a lot of things production wise from him. And last couple of weeks I did a remix on my own just for Around Us, because for me it's a learning process. And in fact, Bruno just did the master for that.
Oh, lovely.
And yeah, that sounded really great. I sent it out and it came back like, whoa, this is huge. And yeah, and in this time, especially during pandemic, we started. Oh yeah, Bruno was asking me if I like to join Shiny people for a stream, and I did already live streams, DJ sets, I think 12, 13 years ago, on YouTube or Ustream or other platforms. And then it stopped because it was too busy with the clubs, going to clubs and playing at clubs. And yeah, so it was for me easy to start again with streaming, because yeah, that's all you can do to keep connected with everybody else. And yeah, everybody misses the music, and through a way of streaming, people are still enjoying it at home, yeah, dancing at home. And yeah, that's basically a good thing. But I hope we can go back to normal as sooner as possible.
I think it wouldn't be easy at all, unfortunately, because I do not see any light at the horizon. You know what I mean? After the tunnel, because things are going really strong. I mean, I'm a positive guy, of course, but I don't see a very near end to this right now. I mean, probably we're gonna wait other 6 or 8 months. It all depends on the vaccine stuff or whatever, but you know, I think it won't be kind of normal in a very short period.
No, not in a short period.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
But I say in the Netherlands, it's gonna be maybe July. We could have a normal summer coming up. Yeah, they change it every week, like you said before.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're gaslighting. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. You know,
it is.
They throw a bone, and then you're happy again, and everyone's happy, and then it's like, oh wait, there's a fourth variant, and you know, so and from the start, I knew this was going to be. We were in it for the long haul. Like the first day, I told my agent, I said, well, this is going to last at least till 2023, and that's what the official channels say.
Agree with you. I think at least to 2023. I mean, we are all losing something, but the best thing, or the best attitude to face this is becoming aware of this. I mean, the more you understand this, the more you realize that you have to wait. You have to face the situation in a proper way. I mean, there is not a proper way to face a situation like this, but you know, it's now.
Also make the best out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think that's very important. Also, to what you say, what also Harry said, I like that a lot. To see, okay, the situation is bad, but what can we do? How can we kind of make it a little bit more positive for us?
Yeah,
as well?
exactly.
Yeah. From the start, I've never thought about, like, I knew it was going for the long haul. So I'm only thinking of today. What can I do today, and
Exactly.
to make myself feel better, and to make other people feel better, because
Yeah.
this really gets to people. So that's all I'm focusing on. And yes, I stay in check with reality. I follow all the news, and
Me
from
too.
all sides. So I do think that we have a say in this. We do, and it's up to us as well. We cannot just sit
Absolutely.
and wait.
Absolutely.
No.
Agree with you. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone is involved in this situation. Everyone can be a good part of this, to make it, to lead it a little bit better
Well, we,
every
we can
single
we
day.
can make it go quicker. So
Yes, exactly.
I'm saying like 2023.
Yeah.
Well, that's like a real scenario in my head.
Mhm.
But we shouldn't take this to 2024 or 2025,
Yeah.
because they
It
keep throwing
depends
these
on how you
bones.
behave. Yeah, it depends on how you act.
Yes, and it's not a negative thing. It's actually a very positive thing, and
Yeah.
that's how I'm in it. I think also the past year has been awesome in a way.
Yeah,
You get to
absolutely.
know you get to know people for who they truly are. You know who your friends are. You also know uh, who you are yourself as an artist. Speaking as an artist,
Yeah,
like, yes, I'm here to entertain. I'm here. I'm not just
But also
existing.
production wise, I think.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that-
and the thing is, when this whole when the world opens up, if that happens, then I'm there. I'm there. I'm ready. I'm mentally
Yeah.
ready. I'm there. I did the work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I'm very positive about that. And yeah, it's going to be a hell of a party. But I
Sure.
don't think too much ahead. I work hard. I think of today. I want to be happy today. I want people to be around me and who listen to me be happy.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do for now. But it's also a mindset. You have to have a good mindset, not be depressed. Yeah, well, of course,
No,
everybody can.
absolutely. Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
but
Yeah,
what do
that's
you think? Which role can music play in that? I mean, of course, we all know it's always been important to us, but I feel that, yeah, as you said, it's not only about the music as such, it's about the community and also maybe the connections. So
Hmm.
why is music, especially in a crisis, be it this one or another, um, important for people?
Well, this is the first thing humanity ever did. We danced, we celebrated, we had rituals, and this is all of that. I often compare DJing with shamanism and like modern shamanism. It's like I told it a few times in interviews, but basically the producer DJ. When you are a producer, you basically you're working on your medicine. You're mixing all this stuff together, like literally mixing, and then you come out, you put on your mask, and you heal the tribe. And that's what people have been doing for tens of thousands of years, if not more. So that's our role, that's our part in this community. It's to heal the community. And so it's a very, for me this whole thing that I've been doing for the past decades is a very spiritual thing. And
agree.
that's why I don't think this situation will last, because it would be the first time in that we know of, at least for tens of thousands of years, that we cannot express ourselves in dance and getting together. It's unnatural, it's inhuman. So it will end, and we will do that again. But we're in the situation now, and now we're trying to do it virtual, and it works. I see it in my stream. I see people getting emotional, being happy. They get in all sorts of states, but it's always positive. And
And I think also the connection between people is getting stronger.
yeah, I think the chat is the most important thing in
Yeah.
my stream. And in most streams, people just they come. It's like going to a club. Like, how was your week? How was your day? Blah blah blah. And yeah, the chat is very important.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting
but
what you said about music being so central to human culture, because there's also this theory or people saying that music originally was some kind of communication, so expression of emotion, but also a way of communicating. So it would be unnatural if it was kind of going away from our culture because of this COVID thing. That's somehow
Yeah,
true.
it's unthinkable. I don't think it can be done.
It's a
Yeah, yeah.
natural, exactly. I think, yeah, yeah, something which cannot exist. You know what I mean? We cannot live without it. That's a thing. That's a fact. And every time you know, during this 20, you say more than 1 year, if I gotta see myself as a musician or as a listener, I think that the best part of lockdown was helping me to see myself in a different way. I mean, I'm a musician, I'm a good listener, and I expect myself more and more into this right now. I think I never spent so many times on listening to other things from one side to the other. So thanks this situation, I learned so many things about me. I learned to even to waste sometimes, if you know, it's not wasting my time, even to wasting time or many other things, musically speaking, many other genres, which really helped me to understand so many things, or simply to open my mind.
Yeah, it's the same here.
In an incredible way, you know. I think I've listened. I'm one of my. I really love Spotify. At the same time, I discover so many beauties all over the world, which is incredible. So
Yeah, I
also
never used to listen much to other DJs.
yeah,
I was like, nah, I want to be in my own world and don't want to be
yeah,
distracted and all this stuff,
yeah,
you know. But now I'm looking forward to like David Morales on
yeah.
Sunday.
Me too.
I like watching Danny Tenaglia. I watch all these other people's, and I like watching other people who just started or you don't never heard of before,
Exactly.
playing great sets, and then I show up on Twitch and I'm saying, hey, I like your set, and then it's, oh, it's Lemon8 in the street. But that's not what I'm going for. I'm just I mean that, you know, and I want to. It's another positive thing. I like
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I think I simply discovered so many things and so many even DJs or new DJs or new artists producing something which is totally far from the way I usually produce music, which empower me every single day, just like food for my soul, every single day, and every day more and more. And I really enjoy this. Olivia knows it. I am a runner, and I usually spend a couple of hours running every single day. And it's incredible the tones and of new music that I discover. Simply let it go, let it flow, and wow, I was missing too many things.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so
I was at one time I was thinking when I heard all these DJs that I never heard of, I was like,
yeah.
I'm not all that special.
Exactly. At the
I was
same time,
like,
yeah,
I like anyone can do this. Basically,
yeah,
it got me in sort of another reality that is
yeah.
also true. That like it's not that special. You know.
I think it's especially in a different way. I mean, I
Yeah.
think exactly. You know, I think everyone is especially in some way. Sorry, guys, I don't want to talk always.
No, go on.
So, okay.
Hey, we have to fill these 2 hours, right?
I know. I'd love to listen to the other guys as well. So I don't want to. You know. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
I really like that because it also shows another very positive side of you. I mean, of you, and also it helps develop yourself. Like, music wise as well. I think that's
yeah,
really
and it's incredible. At the same time, so you have more freedom to express yourself in a different way, and this is amazing. Okay, I don't want to say it that I gotta be thankful to the lockdown, but at the same time, you gotta wow, it was helpful anyway. You know,
I learned this whole year that
Yeah.
I can be very lazy. It's my next new hobby, because work wise, it was the most busiest year. As I work for an I call marketing agency, and I'm making the flyers for Domino's Germany, Domino's Netherlands,
Oh, yeah.
and a lot of other. But it went up. It was so busy, so I had to work at night sometimes, or and a normally, yeah, I can put it aside and work on music at night. But now it was last month. It was so busy that I didn't feel the need to go do something with music, because it was like, okay, now I know I can be lazy and watch Netflix or something.
Cool.
And it's also good. I mean, normally
Exactly.
you don't take time for that. Don't take time for getting yourself a bit in a yeah, how you call it, the easiest, the lazy mode. That's nice. That's nice, and I'm very good in it.
Good, you can. So going a little bit away maybe from the whole, I mean, I know COVID is very prominent, of course, but I mean, just generally speaking, when did you guys first kind of realize that music has a special place in your life, or a special kind of this special effect on your emotional world as well? And what was that for you?
Well, for me,
Oh, sorry. Oh, Gaby, I'm sorry. I missed somehow.
oh, you muted me.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
You muted
Yeah,
me.
I did too, Gabi.
Oh, like Olivia's thinking, oh, there he goes with his story.
No,
No,
I want to know.
Of course, go on.
I can keep it short, but I mean, in the early years, I was really aware of what music can do with me. I think I was a teenager in the sense of, I discovered electronic music, Jean-Michel Jarre, Vangelis, and I was never the guy that liked Kraftwerk. You know, Kraftwerk was a big influence on the whole electronic music scene. But for me, that was too static, and I was more the emotional things like Vangelis, Jean-Michel Jarre, and normal pop culture in the 80s. The 80s, yeah, I still love the 80s kind of music. The 80s, the whole electronic, most of the songs were made with a Roland D50. I need to have the D50, and that's why when I started to realize, get rid of that organ with the two claviers. You know, I had that one when I was 6, and started to buy electronic gear and making music. But I was never that good that I could make that emotional thing till I discovered progressive or techno or the house scene as it is today. And for me personally, music can have, you can have tears in your eyes from some, even with on a stage. I had it a couple of years ago, Loveland. Sasha was playing a track, Traum, Sofia.
See,
and that is a very long track, and I started crying.
Yeah, it's an incredible track, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Really, it's a trip. It's a trip, guy. Absolutely incredible track. Agree. I love it as well.
Yeah, it's so great to hear that played out in on a Loveland Festival in Amsterdam. It was, and I was standing there in the middle of, and there the tears came. I mean, and I have it with so many records. For instance, I listen a lot to movie scores. You know, Hans Zimmer.
Oh, I love him as well.
So great,
guys. Yeah, such a genius, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's so pure if music can touch you that much. I mean, Gaia, I remember when you said, I don't remember the exact wording, but you kind of said, it was probably me crying during your set. But then you said something like, crying because of music is one of the purest thing you can have and you can feel. I think that's so true. Somehow
Yeah.
I ask myself why that is, but it just goes so deep. And somehow I also feel that it kind of helps me settle down things as well, even though I'm crying, but somehow I can feel that, you know, things can get resolved somehow as well.
I think the best thing for music itself, and I'm a music therapist before a musician, so I started about that. So I don't want to say that because I'm a music therapist. So, no, I just say that the one of the best aspects of music itself is the way that it always reflects you in so many moods, and it always keeps you there. You know, probably as you know, as an art as an art itself, and it always got the chance to reflect your mood and to express and to hold you in something which is unbelievable to express in words. At least this is what music it is for me. It's always something I find myself in a very intimate way, which I cannot express. I don't know what it is. Actually, it's a kind of magic.
Yeah, but is there
And
any kind of explanation why music can do that? And I mean, in a different way than, for example, visually looking at a beautiful
yeah,
picture, or
yeah, exactly. Agree.
is there any way to explain that? Is there any, or
No,
that's a
I think there,
far from you as a kind of a different expert in that?
I think there is, yeah, I think there is no way to express it. There is, the only way is feeling it and not understanding why. That's the magic of music itself, because it doesn't give you um, a proper reason of it. It just helps you to feel it. This is what music is all about to me, actually. And I'm not saying only playing, but listening to it as well. It always makes something special to my life. It adds something special in my life. Before being father, which I got 2 kids around right now, I had nothing but music itself. I mean, the only reason of my life was only music itself. And I don't want to say it in a poshy way. I'm just saying that it was the only thing that I had, nothing else. And nothing else was really important to my life itself. And even though, or even when I thought that music was a really bad thing, if you study piano or an instrument in general for many hours every single day, you're gonna have one point in your life that you're gonna hate it because it's too much. You're missing something. You're losing your life. You're wasting your life into something. And beautiful yourself that always been there, even in a corner of your room, but it's always been there, listening to you and waiting for you. And I always thought about music, something, you know, again, magic and transparent and so strong at the same time.
So can
Even
we
in
say that?
silence. Sorry?
Sorry, can we say that this kind of healing process is because we give room to the emotion? Is that
Yes,
somehow?
absolutely. Absolutely. It always, I think Harry said before that there is a kind of a healing process in music itself, in hearing and listening and making music itself. Um, uh, and at the same time, I feel so lucky because I can offer this process, this healing process, which is not naturally, you know, healing with a capital letter, but it's always a kind of help to other people. It's something unbelievable, and I feel so lucky about that because I can offer something to anybody for free. You know, uh, as a musician or as a DJ, as a producer or as a single man, I have something which is a gift to anybody else, and it's free, and it's just like every artist can do. You know what I mean? is something so important to me. And it's not giving you a guide to learn music or to listen to music in a different way. Just giving you something. That's it. And I don't want anything in return. And at the same time, giving is healing myself. Okay,
That's
so
so
I don't want to go
circle.
deeper. Exactly. That's the, yeah, exactly. And that's so important to me, because it always, you know, you get what you give every single time, and sometimes it's really amplified what you give. I mean, what you get instead of what you give. I mean, if I give one, I get 100% that. So it's incredible, and I think everyone involved in it, shiny people, can say that music is giving you this chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As a producer, or as a musician, or as a DJ yourself, you know, you're giving something to people, and at the same time you're receiving, you're getting so much at the same time from the crowd, or from the single people saying, just saying, I like what you did. You know, that it's so important. It's a value. It's an incredible value to me.
Yeah, it's
Very
one of the most
comparable.
important things. Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. Go on. I can ask my question later.
Oh no, I just what Kai said. Yeah, making music and make people happy, or and you get so much back. I mean, if we're all in it for the money, we should have do something else.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's all based on emotion, all
Yeah.
based on yeah, getting people happy, and it makes yourself happy.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. That's not for the money at all. That's I
No.
mean, exactly. I mean, I think I'm not rich, but I usually wake up every single morning with a huge smile, because I'm really happy to make what I do.
Yeah, but you're rich in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's
good
a
way.
different reach. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. It's another kind of richness that many people not understand. You know, I got several people asking me, "What's your job?" I mean, I make music. No, I mean, what's your job? I make music. Okay, but what is your job? Okay, so
Well, that's the point. I mean, it's not. I think, of course, you don't make it for money because you want to become rich because with that. But I mean, at the same time, I think we also have to say, hey, it is a job, and it's okay to make money.
Oh,
with it,
definitely,
you know?
definitely.
So sometimes I have a bit of a problem saying, oh yeah, it's my passion. I don't do it for money.
Yeah,
Hey,
I know, and I think everyone involved. I think everyone involved in this room is really aware that we usually work for money. I mean, it's kind of given a job a proper framework. You know what I mean? This is a job. This is what I usually take money for a remix, for example, which makes sense. I mean, I'm spending my day on making something which you're gonna sell. You're gonna receive money, and I think it's normal, you know, to be paid for something that you do. You know, it's a job. That's it. And it's really crazy how the society consider this. It's not a job. I mean, this is only a hobby for many people, or at least I gotta say here in Italy, above all. I've been asked several times to make a remix for several labels here in Italy, and many people say, "Oh, we're not going to pay you. It's just for the joy of our label." Gosh, how can I pay my fees with the joy of the label? I mean, you know, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
So, and I think everyone is agree with that, because we are, you know, we are doing something.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I mean, I really like to give justice to that as well. So
yeah, of course, it's an amazing job anyway. I mean,
it's nice. But, yeah, thank you.
I thank you.
Yeah, Harry, what I was going to ask you, because you kind of started what Guy then referred to with this kind of a how can I say, healing, maybe. I don't know if you can call it healing, but is that what you mean as well? And do you feel like that when you are playing music that you have that connection in a certain way, that it's not purely entertainment? or
Yeah,
how,
definitely. To me, like I said, it's a spiritual thing.
also because of
And
the response you get?
well, that too, but you heal the tribe. That's my philosophy. And we all know that music is nothing but a bunch of frequencies thrown around.
Of course.
And
Agree.
when you construct those frequencies in the right way, it touches people literally. You know, your liver, your heart, your brains, your certain muscles all react to certain specific frequencies in the
Yeah.
frequency spectrum. So it's not just a fluffy feel-good story; it's actual science. You know,
Yeah.
you can do tests with water and material and put frequencies on them, and then you see movement and all this stuff. And so, yeah, I think music is very important when it's structured really well. There's also music that's not structured very well, and that's to me just noise, and it has nothing to do with healing. I think it's more like disrupting your body than anything else. But when it's done well, really well, like Mozart or Bach, then you feel it. And every frequency works on a different part of your body. And when I make music, that's what I try to keep in mind. So my philosophy behind making music, and I never call myself a musician. I don't know why. It's like I see composers as musicians. I do variations on beats with musical influences in between, variations, which is good too. I'm okay with that.
Cool.
But and it's also to make you move. It's to make you dance, and the dancing is this liberating thing that comes along with the frequencies that are healing. So what I do is when I make music, I go for the head. I go the head, heart, and the crotch, the stuff between your legs. And I think that's an important thing too, because that's what makes people move. Sometimes they say, well, it's just dancing on a dance floor in a club is like it's like a mating ritual, which it in certain ways is. So I always have those three things in my head. And apart from that, I have a sort of I've always had like a love-hate relationship with music, um, which sounds strange after the previous thing that I told you. But I remember when I was 7 years old, I was crying in bed, and then my mom came up to me and she asked me why I was crying, and I told her that at 7 years old, I told her like when I grow up, there won't be any songs left. Everything has been written. It's all been done.
Gosh.
And that got me into a depression at 7 years old. It was like, oh my God, I could never come up with a melody. So what I did was I came up with ugly melodies. So in my head, I started doing like the, and I was very good at uh, uh, impersonate drum machine, saliva in my cheeks. So that's what I did. And then when I made my first record, which was Model 8, that was basically what I wanted to do. Something that is not music at all, but just pure energy. And it can be called ugly in a way. And I still have that when I make music. It's like, yeah, but it's all been done before, and I need to do something else. I need to do something special. And oh, I hate it, and I'm going downstairs to do something else. So that's what I mean by the love and hate relationship with it. And sometimes I've had many periods that I just went away. I just didn't want to make music anymore. It also sometimes it even hurt, like too much back pain. My kidneys hurt. I don't drink too much. It's like unhealthy in my attic. So I'm always being. It's always between these state of minds that I'm in. But It's not complaining. It's just how I experience music in general.
And at the same time, thanks God, you're coming back to make music every single time. So it's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I've become the king of the comebacks. But no. But it's just I've never seen this as my job, as work. I'm very privileged that I can do this.
Yeah.
Very, you know.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it also took a lot of energy, you know.
Yeah.
It cost it. The price you pay can be high, you know.
Yeah, absolutely true.
It can cost relationships,
Yeah.
sanity. You have to answer questions like you said, Guy. Like, no, but really, what do you do? You know. But you know, I'm way over explaining myself. I don't do that anymore. And most people that, like my neighbors, they don't know that I am a musician or a DJ.
Oh, I mean, here
Or,
as
you know,
well.
yeah,
Nobody knows it.
they have no
Really?
clue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like to keep it that way.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to me, so I don't really care about that. I mean, when my kids' teacher usually asks what is my job, and they say he plays music and he makes music, and she always come back saying, but what's the real job?
Yeah.
You know, it makes you understand that everything is, you know, everything is clear to me actually. I don't care about that. So
Yeah, for me, it's just what I do. It's not what I am.
yeah,
It's what I do. It's
yeah,
just what I do. I happen to have a talent for it, and
yeah,
I happen to have the possibilities or the will or whatever it is to do that. And uh, if it ends tomorrow, I don't care. I don't care. This is what I do,
yeah.
and if I don't do it anymore, then I don't do it anymore. I do something else. But this is what I do because this 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 is what I do best. You know, that's just it.
That's a good thing. No. Oh gosh, agree.
But it's very impressive that you had those thoughts at 7 years old. I mean, that's really.
Yeah, I remember it well.
Maybe I can say that, but I still have more experience with working with music. But to me, it sounds really kind of
Why, isn't it?
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's it
yeah,
shows how important music is to me. But
yeah.
at the same time, it's not what I am. It's like I don't know. I just wanted, and it tells you that children go for melody, you know, and you are afraid that all the melodies that they run out. I mean, and basically it is because it's confined. It's very, you know, you can only do so much with these few notes that we have, and we've been doing this for hundreds of years, making variations of these few notes,
Yeah.
and every time I finish something like a remix or an original track, I'm like, wow, my God, I just finished another. I did it again. You know, I did it again, and then I want to lay back and just enjoy that, but I can't because then the next remix has to be ready. But you know, and that's where the struggle with music comes again, because then, oh yeah, it's work. You know, so yeah.
I know. I know
You
the
have to find a
feeling.
balance, the right
Yeah,
balance.
yeah.
Yeah.
A balance is very important. I agree, Gabby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And
I
it's
was just
quiet.
checking the chat if there are any questions. I didn't see one, but shall we just give room to to people if there's any
Yeah,
questions
people ask questions.
they would like to ask. So
Sure.
yes,
Frank.
you can just unmute yourself.
Yes, are you hear me? Are you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes.
Oh, first of all, compliments to you guys. I really appreciate what you said so far. It's really maybe at the end of the chat I come back to this. I really love what Olivia is doing here with us, that she gives us the chance to listen to the thoughts of others. It's a really great thing.
Agree.
And I really appreciate the comments from Harry in the beginning, what you said about shamanism and our role as a DJ. I really feel exactly the same way. It's really great.
That's good to hear. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I think we all feel that way. Sometimes it just doesn't pop up in your head, but that's what we
Yeah,
are.
probably not everybody's aware of it, but
Yeah, and some are not. Some
Yeah.
DJs are not. They are
Yeah.
just in it for the money or other stuff.
Yeah.
But when I mean, we are talking passion here. So if music is your passion, that
Yeah.
is that is the outcome. That's what you do.
yeah.
Mhm.
The question I have to everybody of you is, I was thinking when Olivia came up with the theme, the power of music, where everything started with, and you touched the topic a little bit by saying the dance was the start, the beginning of it. Yeah, we started to dance.
Mhm.
But was it really the dance, or what made us, or what made human, or even animals, force them to do music or rhythm? Was rhythm first? Was singing first? What was first, and what was the reason? And I was really thinking about this, and I find it really interesting. I had some theories about it, but I really would like to hear your thoughts about it.
Well, I think it's all frequencies. I
Yeah.
think everything is frequency. The things you see, the things you hear, and animals hear different things than we do, and see different things than we do.
True. Absolutely.
But music is closest to revealing these frequencies and become aware of it. So I think that one of the I wasn't there all these thousands of years ago, thousands of centuries ago, but I think one of the first things that people do was beating the drum, even before fire, just to keep the animals at bay, you know?
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
and then you get in a rhythm very quickly, you know?
I think the rhythm is also the important thing, because when you're in the belly of your mom, you hear
Yeah, exactly.
the beat of the. I mean, Tim
Yeah.
Penner, Kai, the Tim Penner song. You start with the beat of a heartbeat,
Yeah.
and that's
That's a very great analogy. I think that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, we are born with a beat.
I
yeah.
agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why the 80 BPM is so successful sometimes, or the 60.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's why they
Or
when
the
acid
160.
yeah when Acid House came around in 1988, they were telling us in the newspapers, because they always tell the truth. It's like 120 beats per minute is horrible. It's so dangerous because it overexcites you,
I remember that. Yeah, it's true.
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
but
yeah,
that's
sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
different from the early days for me in the house scene was the hardcore parties, the dream team here in Holland. Well, 140 was normal, and now when I play, it's 120, 123, sometimes 110. It depends on, and I must say, a couple of weeks ago I did more techno stuff, and it went up to 130.
Mhm.
But then I'm listening it back, and also the older stuff, and I'm thinking, wow, that was fast. That was fast. But it also is something you where when you play out, or you're playing your music, and you stick to one thing. For me, it's progressive, and then you hear the older stuff from the mid 90s. It's so fast.
I think that's because there was more energy at the time.
More
The the beats per minute reflect the times we live in, I think. So I'm sure it goes up again. When I made New York in 2000, there was lots of things going on, like today as well. There's always something going on, but and I was that much younger, so it's more energetic. And then it becomes like a genre, so everybody gets to the 130 beats per minute because John Diggy plays it, or whoever, and then we go back again. So it's a wave, the beats per minute, they have a rhythm too over time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's true. It reflects the time we're living. Absolutely.
Yeah, because now all these progressive labels from yesterday are now all re-releasing their tracks, and they all turn down the tempo, which
Yeah.
I think is a mistake, because the tempo will go up again in the next 5, 4, or 10 years.
Yeah, well, it goes in waves.
Yeah, and then you have to do it again. I say leave it alone. It's a moment in time. and let's just move on.
That has a little bit to do with what kind of people jumping into a genre. The younger they are, the more fast it is.
Yeah.
And techno was, you remember, like 5-6 years ago, more slow, but also the community, the techno community had an older crowd. Oh,
Yeah, it's a reflection of the times.
yes.
And age and all these things, but also there's some brainwashing going around, because if everyone plays 123 beats per minute, then I have to make that stuff too.
Yeah.
And they could feel different about it. So yeah, it's all of those things.
I'm very getting very how you call it, the thing that 120 is now basically the thing that All Day I Dream is doing. You know, they call it organic house nowadays.
Yeah.
And
Or sometimes down tempo.
It's down tempo, yeah. But I really like it, and I really making music a bit in the same way. So you get that I always get inspiration by other DJs or other producers or labels or just a sound of something. And yeah, and that's now for me it's now 120, but what Harry said, it can be in 2 years time or 3 years time, it can be 130 again.
Yeah, it will always change. When I came back in 2019, I made a track, my first original since years, for Soundteller Records, and that was like 127 beats per minute. And I was like, I want to bring that techno feel back, the more driving sound.
You told me also. Yeah, you told me also, Harry, that it was, but the music is now a bit too soft, too gentle.
Often I think it's too soft. It's just too laid back. Sometimes people forget that it's about building energy on the dance floor, you know, and it's like, and you have to why not make some variations as a musician, you know? I can imagine that sex at 120 beats per minute every day, every year would be very boring as well, you know. But you know, it's I can understand it, you know, because everything has to be labeled and Beatport has to sell it, and if you make progressive house at 132 beats per minute, it's probably not going to be regarded as progressive house anymore, and then the label can't sell it and all this stuff. So yeah, there's always some complications.
Yeah, such a sad thing, isn't it? I don't like it. I mean, that everyone must, you know, kind of label something. I know it's a marketing thing, and I can understand it. From another point of view, it's always everything. Everything must be, you know, labeled. Everything must be set in a part to be sold in a certain way, and that's kind of scary. I mean, from my point of view, you know what I mean? Because everything is so just seen. Okay, this is a progressive house set. Gosh, so I'm gonna expect this from this to this, and everything, you know, even though with some variation, musically speaking variation, but it's always there. It's always there.
Yeah.
Does that restrict your creative freedom in a way? I mean, when I hear that, I mean, I'm not a producer at all, but somehow I feel like genres and labels are really kind of, of course, they need their kind of frame. That's
I will tell you honestly, from my point of view, that I know a lot of Polish producers who usually do this, because this track has been produced to be played by that DJ or by the other DJ. Other than that, because if I do not this track won't be played at all. And that's so sad from my side, because you're destroying music itself. I mean, you're destroying the creative process of making music itself.
Yeah, and that's what does not make it progressive, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
In very sometimes I call it regressive.
Yeah, it makes sense actually.
Yeah, because you adapt to what everyone else is doing. So when you do that, you lost the progression, you know. Yeah. And of course, people say, well, it's progressive house is about the progression in the music and the way you produce it and all this stuff, and that's true as well. But there's ways around it. That's why many producers make music under aliases, different
Yeah.
names.
Yeah, me too. I usually do this. And trust me,
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm so tired of this because I just producing music because I want to produce something. And
Well, it's making music. If you really are into music and it's your passion, then you
you
don't want.
forget about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, but you don't want to be restricted. You want everything to be
exactly.
in the open,
Exactly.
and that's how
Agree.
that's how acid house started. That's
Yeah,
how drum and
exactly.
bass started.
Exactly. Because
So
you are doing something which is kind of in a certain way it's kind of different. You bring in something which is different from
yeah,
the other things.
yeah,
You are
yeah,
doing something which is innovative, and this is all music is all about, something evolving, and
yeah.
that's not something to be labeled, and I understand, again, from a marketing point of view, but from a creative process itself, I don't want to label music as something, because it's not.
Yeah, it sounds like it was the wrong starting point, I mean,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I would like to add two things. First of to Harry again, when you said you were scared as a boy that you can just play this kind of little variations of the keys we can play with around. This was something in the electronic music I appreciated so much, because sound, frequencies,
Yes,
that was the new dimension, which gave us the opportunity to make futuristic stuff you have never heard before.
True.
yes, you're absolutely right. Electronic music was in a way my salvation.
Yeah.
Because it gave a different another definition of the term ugly that I used when I was 7. So it's not ugly, it's just different. It's you do different things, you work with frequencies, and you can still use the old methods of making music, like making things beautiful and strings and all this stuff. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It was because of the discovery of electronic music, and with me that was Kitaro, Vangelis, Jean-Michel Jarre, but also Bobby Orlando, Bobby O, Divine, Step by Step, all those things that really that ignited that passion in me for electronic dance music. Yeah, yeah. And from that moment on, I wasn't scared anymore.
Good thing.
Second point, you had two.
The other thing I wanted to tell to Guy, I agree with you with the label thing. It's really, really frustrating sometimes, because I know what I'm talking about. I was 10 years in the middle of nowhere between all chairs. My music was not able to be characterized as techno or as trance or anything. I was really, in nirvana sitting. But I learned also, unfortunately, our brain is structured like this. Our brain needs to put things into boxes to remember faster, quicker, and have access to it somehow.
Good.
So
Agreed.
it has to do with the structure of our brain and things we structure ourselves. So
agree. At the same time, I think that we can structure a track or a music in so many different ways.
Sure.
If I listen, you know what I mean? If I listen to so many, unfortunately, I'm not listening to many trance music right now, nowadays, actually, because I think they have all the same shape, all the same structures. And I honestly speak to some trance DJ or trance guys, and I say, why are you doing this? Because it works. Because okay.
Not my approach. Yeah, no,
exactly.
I understand.
Me neither. I had a quick conversation with Jem Elmer.
Oh yeah, Rolf.
I really love the way many people structure their tracks, because they are so innovative, and they have, you're expecting something and this won't happen, and that's a good thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because you're bringing something which is in some way unexpected, and it's the beauty of music itself. This is what I was telling. Of course, I know that and at the same point, I've been asking to make some tracks, just like I don't want to say I cannot say some names, but I had a remix request from a huge label asking me, can you do a remix like Sasha? And I found myself so small.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Why asking you?
exactly. And that's what one of the worst thing
Yeah,
happening
sure.
to my life. You know
Of
what I mean?
course.
I really love how Sasha makes music, or who
Yeah.
or Sasha makes
It's not the
music
point.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, I am, trust me, the last step of the process, the last guy, the smallest guy in the industry. But I have my tiny voice. I have my tiny style, and I just want to do this
Of course.
as it is, even
Of
though many people consider it wrong, but it's mine. You know.
Yes,
So
sure.
why not asking Sasha or to anyone else to
Yeah.
do their own music? And this is so annoying from
Yeah, sure.
from this point of view.
Yeah.
And it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe we can chip in a question here we got from Scott. I think it fits somehow. It has to do with production, music production as well. How do you know, when do you stop working on a track when you produce a track? Is it just the deadline? Or is it, I think the question is very interesting because producers tend to kind of work on a track forever and it's never good.
No, sometimes,
So when do you know it's okay, I close the thing, it's going to be released? So
okay, from my point of view, if I can answer to that?
Yes.
Yes.
From my point of view, or from my producer point of view, is when I do not, okay, two different situations. I can stand it anymore. I don't want to listen to it anymore. So if I stay, if I focus on that track for 2, 3, or 5 or 15 days on the same tracks, I can stand it anymore. I don't want to listen to it anymore. And so I know that it's done. It's done. Another situation, if I listen to it several times and I see that I'm not in the position to add anything else, I know that the track is done. So I see that the track is made. Sometimes I find myself making a track with 60 or 70 different tracks, and I know it's wrong because I'm not giving to the track something else. I mean, we do not need 70 different tracks in a track for in a track for dance music in general. Generally speaking, you know what I mean?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah. I know sometimes I feel myself, I got some tracks, some projects with 75, 79 different
I
tracks.
know, it's the same with me.
And I say myself, how can I mix this? I mean, we're talking about frequencies, and frequencies has a spectrum.
Yes, it's limited.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to, I cannot add anything else. So the track is done when I feel it. But it's done.
Yeah, but also making music is also deleting lots of stuff.
Yeah.
As you know.
Yeah.
So you have these 75 tracks, but by the end of it, there will be 20 or 16.
Yeah. Who's going to lead? Who's going to lead?
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that changes the whole structure. That changes the whole outcome as well.
Mm-hmm.
The whole less is more principle.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm really envy to you, Guy, that you can do a track in one day, because this is the answer to the question. Is I hear over and over and over and over again, and only when I have no idea left where I can improve something, I'm done. But that can take weeks.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's a good thing, actually, because you are really focused on details, which
extremely.
makes a difference. I mean, details sometimes are the real gems of a track.
Yeah.
It's not the motive itself, but
Yeah.
if you are into this field, you can hear some gems here and there, and saying this is they are catching my real interest.
Yeah. But
That's
there are many ways to roam. There have been, if you have a strong melody or a strong bass, anything, then you can't destroy it anymore. Then if you feel a vibe there, it can be with 10 tracks and you are nearly done.
So exactly.
It both is possible.
Yeah, exactly.
I think for me it's always a struggle. When is it something finished? Well, I think things are never finished because you hear voices, or you're watching a movie and you hear a sound, and you're thinking like, wow, how would this kind fits in that?
Yeah, I'm always remixing the remix. That's
The
why.
remix.
Yeah. And then when I did that, then I remixed the remix, and it goes on forever. That's why
It can be
I'm always late.
Yeah.
It never ends,
Sure.
and so I need people to tell me like, Harry, come on,
Stop.
it's been 6 months, and then I'm like, okay,
Okay,
and then
stop
I
it
do
now.
it, and then I'll do it in 2 hours, and finish it. But yeah, that's the trap for me. I'm jealous of Guy who can do it in one day.
Yeah.
Well, other
Sometimes it
producers.
happens. Sometimes it happens. But sometimes it happens if I work on a track for 7 days, for example, and and I'm so tired of this, and I start playing something, and oh, this is going to be the track itself.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Sometimes it's just this one element
boom.
that's
Exactly.
it.
I made
Yes.
the track a couple of days ago, just playing. I playing the track with the real piano, and I recorded the piano with the iPhone. I put the iPhone take into the track, and it worked. It was kind of magic, and it works. And they took it and say, "Wow,
Yeah.
it never happens actually." Because sometimes, trust me, I spend days and days and weeks on the same tracks.
Yeah, me too. I think more about a remix than that I actually work on it.
Yeah.
I sometimes I just need to finish it in my head, then go into the studio and then just do it. And but it takes a lot of time. But people
But in
ask.
the end, Harry, is it then the same as you had in your head? Of
No,
it?
no,
No.
no.
That never, I can never do that.
No, because
There's so many things in my head, but I never can put it out.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you remix the remix. Yeah, it's very hard to just confine yourself to, okay, this is what needs to be done. This is good. But yeah, I think that comes with being creative, is that creativity never stops. It always goes
Never
on.
stops.
But the whole thing is to whatever you think of next, that you put that in a next song or in the next production.
Gaby, how
And
do you guys do that? I mean, do you have a lot of discussions on that with Jan and you? Because I mean, a duo is always different, right? So you have to kind of find a way when he wants to go on, but you think it's all right.
Well,
like that.
with
collaborations, you have the same. Yeah.
It's between me, around us is a collaboration. For me, I am more the DJ guy that got into production, although I played keyboard since I was 6. But Jan is very productive, and he was also giving Ableton lessons and stuff like that. So he's very into the production and mixing environment. But he was never melodic. He always writing notes with his mouse, and I said to him, why not use the keyboard? Just make it more organic. And nowadays, if you listen to our first tracks 2 years ago or the tracks now, so much more melody in it. And he makes now, he does 2 days for a track, and he said, listen to this. I sent it out to Natura Viva, and they signed it already in 2 days.
Lovely.
And it's insane how productive Jan is in that way, because he is completely blocked and put on his headphone, goes into the studio and mix it, and it's finished. And we did, I think, 78, almost 80 tracks the last 2 years. And remixes. So it's for me it's a little bit too much, but don't stop the production, don't stop the creativity. No. So that's great. And for me it's still a learning process, producing. DJing, that's the thing I always did, producing and get things sound right, like you have it in your head. That's the difficult thing, the different thing. And well, it's getting better and better. And I must say, much more fun in it when you know how to do things, and there are no rules. That's the most beautiful thing about music. There are no rules.
Agree.
So you can go either way in what you feel or what you want to do, and that's great.
Yeah, agree. So. True.
Nice. I feel we could talk forever. But yeah, maybe we can still. I mean, you talking about productions, and I know you all are very kind of creative heads and productive. So yeah, feel free to
Just
also. Yeah.
just want to say, Frank, congrats with the #1 position on
Oh,
Beatport Techno.
thank you very much,
second one.
Gabby. Thank
Oh,
you.
lovely. I didn't know.
#2.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know either. But
It's
that's
exciting.
wonderful.
It's the first day. It's the very exact day. Then 2 years ago, the acid was on the first time.
Really?
Imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope
Congratulations.
everybody knows that Olivia did the vocals in that track.
Uh-huh.
I didn't
In
know. I
in
played
the
it as
first
well.
one.
In the first one, yeah.
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 So great.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Gabby.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
Yeah. Does anybody want to add anything? Any question? I kind of flipped through the chat. Somehow there's so many messages. I hope I didn't.
I'm sure there are some questions from people.
I see a good question from Natasha. Can you produce music in another style, EP album
Oh,
with
yeah,
another?
right.
I think it's a good question. Yeah, I can make hardcore, I can make techno, but I stick to the thing where I can what we are now doing as around us. So, but yeah, I can make techno, but not as good as Frank does, or the heavier progressive stuff like Harry is doing more. The if I listen to old records from Harry, from Lemon8, they are the bedrock things, bedrock tracks. They are pumping and really driven, and that's yeah. I can do it, but not that good. Don't know how it is for the others. Make a
Yes,
song
I mean,
in a
of
different-
course you can. I could do it. It's a little bit of has to do also a little bit with empathy, but it would be just a little bit like an imitation of something.
Yeah.
Because yeah, the strongest and the most best I would still feel with the stuff I'm comfortable with, or I really feel. The other thing, I would try to do something. So I have to imagine how it would be in this genre, something like this. It would be not that authentic, I would say.
Yeah,
It
but
would be just an approach.
yeah, but I think when you try to do something in another genre, I think you also get some inspiration from
Sure.
that part and
Sure.
put it in your own music.
Yeah, that was the reason I did a sidestep project like 10 years ago with a guy. We did glitch hop and dubstep because I wanted to learn the technique. It really freaked me out that I didn't know how they did the sounds and the beats and everything. That was so new that I really wanted to learn this. And it helped me also back in the days to create different things for my genre then. Yeah.
Ah, great. And you, Guy? Where's Guy?
Where's Guy?
Guy left.
Oh, really? How
Guy's
come?
remixing.
You, Harry? How
Sorry,
about you?
guys,
Make it some hardcore.
Okay, sorry,
But
guys.
you have an alter ego, right?
Yeah, I had an alter ego for a while. His name was Jack Russell.
Jack Russell.
Yeah, I chose the name Jack Russell because it rings a bell with everyone. But when they think of a person, it's like, yeah, I know this person, but you know, it's a dog, of course. So, but anyway, it sounded nice. And I did techno and I also did disco. And you were talking about these bedrock releases, Gabi, just earlier.
Yeah.
I never intended that to be a certain genre. I never intended to be progressive or whatever name was fashionable at the time. To me, a track like New York, New York or Lose Control is just a form of techno. It's very minimal in its sounds and everything.
True.
And Digweed was the first to pick it up, but Intech from Carl Cox was also interested in releasing it. And if that happened, I would have been like a techno producer, you know.
If
So
if it came out on Intec, it would be a techno record.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah.
Then Carl Cox would have pushed it. There would be a techno remix to go along with it by him or someone else.
Oh, that's a universal track you made.
Well, yeah, but that's also that's what I try to do every time, you know, because when you start comparing yourself with genres or what should be done, then you are limiting your creativity, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the last thing that you should do.
Yeah.
Unless that's your goal, but that's not my goal. I just want to make music that moves people on the dance floor, you know. It doesn't need to be musically complicated, whatever. I just wanted to have like a tough kick drum, a great bass line that goes straight to the crotch, you know, and everything else is a bonus. And that will also, that's why it also stands the test of time, because you don't go with fashion. Fashion always disappears and something new replaces it. But you have to be true to yourself, and that's not always easy because you're always influenced by anything that went before it, but whatever you're doing. So yeah, but to me it's always about power, because if everyone would make 120 beats per minute tracks which are all very dreamy, then there would be no highlight at 3 o'clock, you know. So someone has to provide that, or you take it from another genre, or you move it into the genre, you know. So I never look in boxes, but of course you're always confronted with it, and sometimes you do listen to it. But yeah.
That's good.
This kind of, I just saw a next question, maybe it
Yes,
fits in
questions.
there. Deacon asks, doesn't most track sounds better on a higher pitch? 120 is costing the energy of the track sometimes.
It depends on the track.
Yeah, it depends on the track. Agree.
Yeah.
I think it's sometimes it's true, sometimes not. Sometimes they sound with a slower pitch actually even better to me. Actually, sometimes they do. Actually, they did.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the vinyls, and sometimes I find myself to slow it down a little bit because it was, I don't know what it was, maybe, but I thought it sounded a little bit better in a slower tempo.
Yeah.
Instead of a higher. I don't know.
Give
I think
the
it depends
bass
on
a
the
little
track.
bit more space. That's
Yeah, exactly.
And if you prefer bassline music or
exactly. It depends on the elements of the track itself. Yeah.
So
True.
maybe it's good if I do you guys hear me or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yes.
maybe it's good if I just try to.
Introduce yourself first.
I'm Deacon Cross. Hello.
Nice to meet you, Deacon.
And I'm a very good friend of Harry. And I'm a real deacon. I'm working in the Catholic Church, and I really love progressive music, DJing, and producing. Producing, I'm just starting. Got a few records now, and Harry is busy with a remix now for me. So
cool.
No,
but
fine.
that's yeah. Well, so I'm very happy to do that. Yes. So about spiritual DJing, producing, it's all a spiritual thing, and for me, it's also that. But what I tried to say in the question was, I noticed that a lot of producers makes music about 180, 120, just because it has to be 120, you know. While the track they made is probably better when it's 123, 124 for better energy. And so, yeah, well, I noticed that a lot of tracks are sounding much better when on a higher pitch. So I usually play at 123, 124.
Okay.
And I have to pitch those tracks totally up, but they are sounding much better when they have that high pitch. So yeah, so that's why I ask: is it better to just make the music on a pitch that sounds best, you know, and not
You know,
because the whole the whole industry wants it to be 120.
yeah, from my point of view, sometimes it's a question of intensity. It's not sometimes, you know, if you're talking about some BPMs, it's a question of how it sounds. You know what I mean? The intensity the producer put into those tracks, the kick that he uses, the bass line he uses, the choices of instruments he usually, they are intended to give something to that track. So it's a kind of the intensity of a track itself, and not sometimes from my side, not the BPMs. So it depends. It depends on the track. It depends on the sounds itself.
Right.
For me.
All right.
Yeah, and next to that, it's also a personal preference always.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like, you know, it depends on. I mean, you've been DJing for a long time, Steve, Deacon Cross. So it depends on what you played before, what you played in the 90s, what I played in the 80s. You know, there's always something that connects you to this music, and sometimes the tempo is part of it, and also your mood as a DJ. You know, and sometimes like in the streams that I did, there was a track by a guy called Darker Sound, and it was a breakbeat track, and it was like 130 beats per minute, and I played it at 123, 24, and it got a total different dimension to it, and people really liked it. They loved it, and now it's doing really well in Beatport and all this stuff. But it's just and the thing is, I try to avoid it because I always want to respect the producer. So I don't want to deviate too much from the original tempo, that because if people do that with my music, like sometimes they play my stuff at 130 or sometimes at 118, and I'm like, hey, that's not my intention, the way I made it, you know.
True.
So as a producer, I always think of that, but in this case, I wouldn't be surprised if his next production would be 123 beats per minute, because it better suits the mood. But I'm not telling him to go down. He just has to make great music. And the thing is, with beats per minute, we all have on our equipment, even back to the SL 1200s back in the 80s, we have like this thing that you can move about, so it goes faster or slower, you know. That's how DJing started, you know, with beat mixing. So you have a choice. You always have a choice, and if it fits in, it fits in. Yeah.
Thank you. There is one more question. Let me just. Oh, Harry, did you see that question?
About the new beats?
You was going. Yeah, you were going to answer a question, I think, right?
Yeah. By I have to put on my
Did
glasses.
any of your DJs play new beats? Was one of the hardest track to mix because we played it on 33. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the new beat, the Belgium in the before the 90s, I think. The confettis.
I
Sound
saw
of
them
Sea.
live. I have a nice story about that, but go on.
Yeah. But they pitched it up or pitched it, and but it was for me also a bit of the introduction to house music, the new beats from Belgium. It's very electronic, and it was slow in a way, but very synthesized acid kind of way.
Yeah, for me it was a bit too bombastic.
Bombastic.
Yeah, it was too robot-like, which I didn't like. But I didn't even like acid house when it first appeared. House music turned me over with hip house, because I was a hip hop and funk DJ before that, so that related to me. But I do remember playing some of those new beat tracks because they fitted into the acid house genre. And I do remember pitching it to +8 on 33 RPM. So that's funny. At the time, you had also had the DMC conventions, where they had like the scratch championships and all this stuff, but they also had showcases of artists. And because New Beat was hot that year, I think it was 88, 87, I don't know, something like that. And I was in the audience. It was in Paradiso in Amsterdam. And so you had like really credible acts, hip hop mainly, but also some other genres. But because house was new, you know, the boom 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 was new. But the Confettis had their first appearance in Holland, and I remember that the lead singer dressed up like a Canadian Mountie, you know, these red suits and a hat and all this stuff, and it was totally. They were booed. People were throwing toilet paper at them.
Really?
And all sorts of vegetables. And then he kept singing. It was like I don't know, maybe Serge, who asked the question, can help me with that. But I think the title was "Is Everybody Happy" or something like that, which made it even worse. And it was. But I think the Confettis were like the commercial outgrowth of that underground genre. So it was just the wrong act to be there. But yeah, I remember the New Beat. Yeah.
Okay. So this was the last question I think I saw in the chat. So maybe, yeah, we can come to conclusion. I think. I mean, we could talk forever. And before our talk, I talked to Gaby, and I said to him, well, maybe the time frame is about an hour. So yeah, we'll slightly past that.
No, I told you, and Bruno can say so. I'm a big. Normally, I'm like blah 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 blah. I can talk for hours. So I said, yeah, 1 hour is a little bit short, but I think this is the yeah 1 hour and 45 minutes almost.
Yeah.
So that's the time you need to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I told you I won't make a cut if the conversation is great, and it really was, at least in my view. And just on a side note, thank you all you lovely people writing those comments in the chat. I really appreciate that. I kind of flipped through and will take the time to read them all. But very nice comments, and thank you too for being part of this, of course.
Oh, we thank you.
So yeah, it's just like what I would really love from you three guys. Could you maybe, is there any message you have for like to us or the world right now, or is there anything you want to add to send? Feel free.
Wow. Gosh, I'll let you speak before.
Well, I always end my streams with "stay sane." That's very important, you know.
Yeah.
Also, a good thing is not to watch television too much and the news. Just stay in a good flow, stay positive, you know, because like I said, we've been doing this for thousands of years, and it will not stop this year. So we will do it again, and hopefully under the right circumstances. But yeah, we have to keep positive, and yeah, music heals. It just does. It heals us as producers, DJs, and it helps you as a listener too.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the message. I think that staying positive in a really hard situation could be the best advice or the best tip that everyone can to anybody. Sometimes be responsible for everything, because we all and every one of us has a responsibility for himself and for maybe nowadays more than any other period, for everyone. So from a producer or a musician point of view, be creative and be yourself wherever they say or wherever they want. wherever they will ask as a remix or production, be always yourself, because it's the best thing that you can do with music in general. And so
Yeah, that's true.
Just out of curiosity, Guy and Gabi too. The last year, I've been getting very personal messages from people who are depressed and are thinking about, ending things and stuff like that.
yeah, I have some friends who decided to cut it up.
Right. Yeah. Me too. But also complete strangers. But they often come to artists for that, which is okay. I try to help musically, but if people find another way or want another way, I'm there too. It's
I know.
it's the same thing.
I know. I know it's really hard, because I've seen several people who are living this job, or above all, they are living their own lives because they can do it anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really hard to be.
Yeah, it's hard, but I think we have a role in that as well as artists.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And this is the responsibility I was talking about. I mean,
Yes.
if you have this chance to give people something that you have, and you are gifted to give other people something, do it. I usually do it. It's helping us, it's helping me, and it's helping other people at the same time. So do it, and I'm sure that this is going to be really important for every one of us.
Yeah. Olivia, maybe a nice thing to end this with, because I just saw a question from Natasha.
Sure.
She wants us to mention our favorite tracks. So
Nice.
our own music. Yeah.
Our own music.
Yeah. So you can start, Guy.
Gosh,
Do you have one at all? Do you have one?
Gosh, I need to think about that. God.
Which child do you like the most?
I need to think about it. I'm gonna write it later, because I need to. I really need to. Probably I can tell the last one is called Suitcase. It's a really straightforward track, a really simple track. I made that track in one day.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get any good response from Beatport, but on Spotify it's still rocking, and I'm so happy about that, because it was something which I want to do, and it worked. It's just listen to this. The track is called Suitcase, and I think it has the essence of old ravish track back in the days. It's really back to the bone. Nothing special, but it works, and I really
that sounds interesting. We were talking about that, like.
Exactly. I think it has nothing really special, but it is a track which is a little gem. No great melodies. I love it anyway, because it's simple and it goes straight there.
Back to the bases.
Exactly. It's really back to the basic track, and from. Okay, I'll let you speak right now. I will tell you later.
Okay, Gabi, what's your favorite track?
From around us. Our track has to come out. My favorite one. It's on BC2 Records, and in fact, it's a remix. I think I don't know the title, but I searched for it. Yeah, because there are so many tracks coming out on different labels. So I hear it in my head, but I don't know the title. But I will send it to Natasha, and I put it in the chat if I know the title.
Oh, cool.
Olivia,
Always the best song is always had to come.
Exactly.
Olivia, we're not gonna go without an applause for you to make all this happen and possible. I really appreciate that, and really love to bring us here together.
Thank you.
It was fun. Thank you. I've seen. I saw a lot of familiar faces in the chat, and it was nice.
But Harry, you have to.
I was trying to avoid that.
You want to
I
say?
it's very hard. I think one remix that I did, Girl Nobody Cages. I think that's my fave. It's incredibly fast if you play it now, but thank God for pitch control. But yeah, that's my fave. Musically and rhythmically, and the voice, it just all comes together. I just wish it was my original, but yeah, the interesting thing is, Girl Nobody, it was just a pop band. The original song was an acoustic guitar version song at 80 beats per minute, and I had to translate that into progressive house.
How many
And
BPMs have you done it?
it ended up in somewhere around 130, around
Gosh.
there,
Wow.
maybe a little bit,
Whoa.
maybe a bit higher. So I doubled the tempo to 160. Then
Yeah.
I had
Slow it down a little bit.
and
Yeah.
slow down, so it fit in the, but I couldn't go lower.
Yeah.
And at the time everything was 130. I did New York was 130. All
Yeah.
the In the Sanctuary sessions was all the same tempo at that time.
It was
So
late 90s, right?
it was early 2000s.
Early 2000, yeah.
Yeah, 2000
2000
to
maybe, yeah.
2003.
Okay.
And so yeah, I there's just something that just works in that track, and because it was like an acoustic pop song, it just
Gosh.
helped. And the funny thing is, when I heard it back, the original, like 10 years later, I realized that I forgot like this whole segment of another text that she sang, and I just I didn't know was there. So but yeah, those are these happy little accidents, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks God for those accidents, you know. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. It's
I
like,
think sometimes,
yeah, the like Bob Ross, the painter.
yeah.
He's always talking about happy little accidents.
And I think
And
sometimes happening to me, they are the best things happening in a track.
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can most tracks are
Yeah.
just accidents.
Yeah. From my
Accidents.
side as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
accidents coming together.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And I really love this.
My whole life is one accident, so no. No, just kidding. But I mean, happy accidents are, yeah, are always in all of our tracks. I mean, putting a synth on would be normally a bass line, or
Yeah.
or a melody on a track what was normally proposed for production for
For
percussion.
drums. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's yeah, happy accidents are great, yeah, great invention.
yeah.
So if you come up with a track, you can of course post it on the Shiny People group, maybe, so everyone can.
Oh, that's a good
can
thing. Yeah.
the title, right?
Of course.
Cool.
Of course. Sure.
Okay.
Or
I was
maybe
just
maybe
going
we,
to
we can post it in the event on the event
whatever.
page.
Yeah, both is fine, of course. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Yeah, I was just going to add. So of course, thank you for your thank yous, but I always keep saying, I mean, of course, somebody needs to take the initiative, which appears to happen to be me now, but I always say Shiny People is a we project. It's not a project that is just by myself or something. Yeah, I need help from all of you, and we need all of you to participate in the talk, but we need people listening to us and to our stories. And yeah,
So,
that's why I say it's a we project. We all do it together. So thank you for that, of course.
Yeah, I want to
you're
thank
welcome.
everybody that was here in the chat. It was good seeing all of you.
Me too. Really honored to see you and to know you for the first time. Unfortunately, I didn't know some of you, so it's great to know you and great to see some friends, which are Frank, which I've seen. Hi, Frank. And thanks a lot for having me. It's always inspiring when you communicate. We have the chance to talk to other guys who have so many good things to share. So thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Yes, yes, same here. For the people who are watching, if you like this, yeah, let shiny people know. So you know, we can have more people next time and make it known.
Yeah,
Good.
thank you.
Definitely.
Take care. Stay
You
healthy.
too. Stay positive.
Yes.
Till next time.
Listen to music, produce, keep on producing. I'm really excited about your next releases. You're all being very
Always.
productive. I know that.
Always. Always.
So yeah. Okay. Take care. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, guys. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.